The tourist season over, Kaipara Harbour and the town of Batley, with its stately hotel and lonely church, are deserted. The largest sheep farm in the area for the past 50 years has been the property of the Roadley brothers. But here too an era is coming to a close, as the last of the 4,000 sheep are drafted off. With the uncertain market in wool, the brothers decided beef cattle replacement would keep the grass down and allow more time for a new farming venture. Licenses have been issued by the government to 43 oyster farmers. Although relatively new, oyster farming has become a lucrative business on the shores of shallow harbours. A single oyster may produce 100 million eggs at one spawning, but in order to survive, the SPAT, as baby oysters are called, must settle on a hard, clean surface. So, to catch a spat or two, the brothers set out frames. The spat attach themselves with rock-hard glue, and a year later, they are large enough to be shifted out to the growing areas. Under new regulations, the Roadley brothers can make a quick quid by picking oysters off existing rocks and fattening them in their own trays. The oysters grow to a size rivaling that of the legendary bluff oyster in about 2 years, and on harvesting sell at $10 a sugar sack full. Good business. The industry is growing fast, and soon New Zealanders may have an oyster season all year round, a thing many oyster lovers have dreamed about. But for Hallie Roadley, it's a dream come true.
Wellington Airport, Saturday, midnight. And copies of the latest Sunday papers are off to the South Island to be on sale at daybreak. This will be just one of a yearly total of 15,000 flights Safe Air Limited make to 31 airports throughout New Zealand. The company started in a small way 17 years ago to carry freight across Cook Strait under contract to the Railways Department. Since then, the Bristol freighter has gained a reputation for efficient short-haul freight carrying. As well as operating the rail air service, the planes now fly National Airways Corporation freight under contract. Today, the fleet of a dozen bulbous-nosed, throbbing Bristols is a common sight. Over the years, the company has built equipment for every conceivable freight requirement. When they commenced a weekly air service to the Chatham Islands for the Internal Affairs Department, they realized people would expect to be treated differently from freight for their 3.5-hour flight. So a capsule was designed and built to slide in where the cargo normally goes. The soundproofed, air-conditioned capsule, which takes up to 20 passengers, can be swallowed by the Bristol minutes after it has unloaded freight. The trusty workhorse is transformed into a comfortable airliner and provides a much-needed service to the Chatham Islanders living 500 miles east of the mainland. Containerization has come to passenger transport.
Auckland Show, displaying the latest in machinery designed to put good old New Zealand wool through its paces. Fantastic interest by the spectators is evident. A whimsical mannequin parade, just to show the final result. Off the fleece and onto the flesh.
Ever since there have been roads and bridges, there have been tolls. But in New Zealand, there are charges on only 2 of the nation's highways. These are at the Christchurch to Lyttelton Road Tunnel and the Auckland Harbour Bridge. The monitoring systems are highly sophisticated, yet the basic principle and operation is the same for both. The class of vehicle is indicated, the money collected, change handed back and registered. Axle counts and vehicle classes are recorded in the control building on equipment designed and built by an Auckland firm. Their engineers now concentrate on equipment to go out of New Zealand. The firm recently contracted to supply toll equipment to the new Lion Rock Road Tunnel in Hong Kong. The toll system is designed to give maximum control of the tunnel, toll plaza and approaches. Work on the equipment is fast and non-stop. One of the engineers accompanies the toll system to Hong Kong for the final wiring and testing. There are about 565 miles of roadway in Hong Kong Colony. Many of them crisscross the new territories, a small area of mainland China that comes under British control. Kowloon and New Kowloon, which are also on the mainland, have 160 miles of road. Hong Kong is so crowded that 3 new cities, Sa Tin, Tai Po and Fan Ling, are being planned in the valley of Sa Tin. The tunnel was originally excavated to take water pipelines from Kowloon through Lion Rock to the valley. The road is built on top of the water pipes. In Hong Kong, the New Zealand engineer sees his firm's equipment installed. The safety measures are checked. Emergency telephones, monitors for sampling carbon monoxide, visibility obscuration indication, height detection to stop overheight vehicles from entering the tunnel, and traffic signals are stringently examined. On Tuesday, November the 14th, the Governor of Hong Kong, Sir David Trench, opens the tunnel. Minutes later, he pays the first toll through the plaza. Rock Tunnel gives direct access to the undeveloped areas of the colony, now badly needed to house people and expanding industry. The New Zealand equipment installed to operate the tunnel so successfully is an example of our own industry's necessary expansion.